Hello, trance lovers. I'm your host, Adrienne Thierry from EDMNYC, and I'm here in Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City at Future Sound of Egypt 350, hosted by Esscala. And with me is the beautiful, the lovely Sylvia Tosun. Let's get right into it.
Okay.
Now, as a vocalist, you collaborate a lot with producers. What is, can you give a snapshot of a typical work session when you are working with a producer?
It's different for everyone. So when Alex Morph sent me the string arrangement for what would be An Angel's Love, I sat with just the strings for quite some time, and I went to the piano and I kind of translated them into a language that I know how to play, and I tried to find it, and then it found itself. In a case like Andrew Rayel, he sent me an already done track that was just extraordinary, and I didn't want to step on it too much, so I'm kind of like, all right, where should I put a little vocal, and I'll put another one, and then I don't want to interrupt the drop and all of that, because it felt so good already, it didn't even need words. So then the title became There Are No Words. In the case with Ali and Fila, I was a little nervous, actually, because they had sent me a track, and I was a little worried that I wouldn't come up with something, because I'd really been thinking about it like for a bit and didn't come up with anything right away. I did right away, but then I tossed it and I wanted to do something else. So then I found myself reading interpretations of the Book of the Dead,
Really?
ancient Egyptian philosophies, ancient Egyptian everything, and I realized that it's not dissimilar to my upbringing also, because I come from kind of a Middle Eastern, half Middle Eastern background. So it got...
Oh, you go all the way.
Yeah, a little bit. And so, you know, we just did the research, and then all of a sudden I said, oh, eye to eye, oh my God, it's universal, it's so good. Okay, so then we started like building around that. It happens different every single time. Mm-hmm. And I'm always looking forward to when someone wants to send a track, because I'm hoping that, you know, it would just magically happen so quickly, but it rarely does. It's work.
Yeah, it's a lot of behind the scenes work people never see.
I'm judgmental about lyrics. Like, I always feel like you gotta listen to this song that you're writing 50 years from now and still like it to be successful as a writer. I think you just write something for now. You write something, period. No matter how you dress it up, whether it's trance or house or, you know, or jazz or whatever, it should still stand alone as a song. Mm-hmm. So then the pressure is on to like make sure the language is right, make sure it's also relatable. A lot goes on in here. I fight with myself all the time when I write. So,
now, when did you learn that Ali and Fila were bringing Future Sound of Egypt to New York City?
When they announced it on their schedule, they sent us an email to say that we're coming to New York.
What do you think it means for trance in the U.S.?
I think that trance should be on the radio already. I mean, I've got some great radio edits that I have of people's songs, and they feel like they'll fit right in, if not even better than what's there. So, yeah, I think it's only a matter of time.
How would you describe your personality to someone who did not know you at all?
I don't know, but I would say brace yourself.
You went to Juilliard. How did you go from Juilliard to dance music?
My friends took me out to a club one night, and it was Jonathan Peters and Afra Nissim and a few other great DJs, and I just stayed all night. In fact, I stayed all night and then all morning. And I loved it. So, yeah, I mean, I just started writing songs in that vein, and I've also discovered that almost any genre can be sung in especially a trance vein. And so it was really freeing and enlightening for me.
It was like a whole new world.
It's a whole new world.
What did your time and experiences from Juilliard bring to dance music when you started doing dance music?
I don't know that Juilliard had anything to do with it. My teachers were really tough. So I guess under any circumstance, I feel like I can survive it. I guess that's good, because in a club environment, it's not always conducive to live singing and all that. So I kind of just make it my own theater in a way by maybe putting on a ring or a headpiece, something interesting, something to make it feel like I'm within it. And I guess I learned that from Juilliard, because we learn how to be within our song. we're part of it. So when you see an opera, it's all of this, visual grandiosity, but it's really the, internalization of what you're singing that matters.
People outside of dance music, I think, have a hard time grasping why people in the dance music world would come to a gig to watch a DJ. To them, it's like watching someone, I guess, be on the computer. What kind of performance element do you see in dance music?
With regard to music and how people feel, that's pretty much all it is. And we go there for the DJ to help us feel a certain way. So sometimes a DJ can't take us anywhere, and they're not a good DJ when that happens. But when they do, and when you look forward to having that night of progression within yourself, I just think that it's gorgeous, it's visceral. And if the DJ's there at the helm and he's playing that music, one song after another, and it's making you bubble inside and it's making you feel a certain way, I think he's successful. I mean, to add elements to that in the future, of course, but it's working right now. The fact that dance music has come full circle and become mainstream now, no longer the bastard stepchild of the music business, I think that it's eye-opening for the younger generations too. I mean, like I've got a niece that's like 4 years old, and she's on the computer and she's listening to dance music, and I'm like, how do you even know that? How can you even form a sentence? Like, I'm humbled by the experience of it. I'm like, oh my God, finally, I'm involved in a group that like is seemingly succeeding. Because when you're a musician, you just kind of do like what you learn and whatever, and you're a musician, so you're not, in our day and age anyway, we're not really looked at as like a formidable element of society. But in fact, situations like this, and your very astute question, yeah, there's hope for everybody.
As a girl talking to a girl, where are the women in the trance industry? There's very, very few.
Oh, it's a very old-fashioned industry. It's very ancient indeed. However, there are elements of that are nice, because then there's somewhere to go. So you might pose the question, well, what happens next? All right, fine. So we've got the DJ that brings us all this music. All right, we're in the club. Now, how about you add the LDM aspect of EDM, which would be live dance music. And in come some singers and some musicians, and before you know it, we're reinventing vaudeville. So I think that it's only a matter of time before women will prevail in that regard, because we do wear headpieces very well.
Going back to what you said about creative music and mostly the arts being undervalued, it's hard to make profit in creative fields because it's so subjective. What are your thoughts now that trance music is coming full circle?
Oh, that the profit margin is still paramount to anything else? Well, I think businesses like Pandora, which are predicated upon delivering music that they didn't create, yet they're taking the lion's share of, would be an example of immediate initial reaction to capitalism, right? So if the Industrial Revolution were to revolutionize itself again, I think that what may end up happening is that gets feathered out by reality, because eventually, if the well runs dry with the middleman and the actual creators are standing their ground in some particular way, I think that that type of thing would be quelled, if not eliminated. Mm-hmm. So I think that eventually progress always wins.
Finish the following phrase. What the trance scene really needs right now is...
You to speak to it often.
Oh my gosh, I'm so flattered, thank you. Currently, what's the one thing that you wish the general public would just understand about trance?
It's happy, it's euphoric, it's emotional, it's transcendent. So you should listen to it, because you're going to learn something about yourself when you listen to it.
Thanks so much for taking the time to do this interview.
Thank you for having me. I'm crushing your head. I'm crushing it. Oh yeah, upper clap.